So we have a report here that came out a few days back, but I found it really interesting. I'm not sure what I think about it. This is in Mediaite. Vivek Ramaswamy told allies he's running to sabotage Ron DeSantis. Here's what they say. If there's one thing GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy can surely get out of his long shot campaign, it's name recognition. But other than simply raising his profile, a report from ABC News posits that there might be another reason behind Ramaswamy's run, sabotaging Ron DeSantis to clear the road for former President Donald Trump. Those watching the GOP primary race have noticed that Ramaswamy's strategy is extremely friendly and deferential to Trump, verging on, or maybe blatantly, sucking up to the former president. Judging by what Ramaswamy reportedly told some conservative allies when he first announced his intention to run, knocking out Trump's most competitive opponent might have been some motivation. Now, I don't know, man, because there's evidence to the contrary, too. Like Vivek Ramaswamy in his book, Woke Inc., or whatever it's called, he was very harsh on Trump. He was like against all the election denialism and really didn't pull punches and certainly wasn't nearly as sycophantic as he is now. So in the recent past, he wasn't as hot on Trump. And now he's very hot on Trump. Now, that could just be a cynical calculation in the moment to think, hey, I'll get more eyeballs on me and become more famous if I play, number two to him, knowing I can't topple him. But I don't for this theory to be true, you kind of have to grapple with that aspect of it, which is not that long ago, he wasn't sucking up to Trump. So when he launched his campaign, I don't know if he even knew when he launched his campaign what his stance would be vis-a-vis Trump. Was he going to take the line he had been taking, which is criticize him? Or from the moment he launched, was it going to be, I'm going to be incredibly sycophantic? Because my reading of it is that certainly as time went by, he got more and more sycophantic. Like as Trump's poll numbers went up, that's when he started getting more and more sycophantic. So I don't know. I feel like the self-promotion angle for Vivek is probably the most compelling argument to me. That he's just you guys know what I call him. I call him Republican Pete Buttigieg. Because that's what he is. He's smarmy. He's a politician. He's trying to raise his name recognition. And I think he just calculated later on the best way to do that is to suck Trump off 24/7. Ramaswamy pitched himself as a candidate who can make serious waves in the Republican primary at the meeting. When met with some skepticism, Ramaswamy argued that his candidacy could also dissuade Florida Governor Ron DeSantis from entering the race. According to a source who was on the call, in the lead up to his announcement, Ramaswamy would tell several other conservative activists that he believed that if he ran, it could stop DeSantis from running or impact his viability as a candidate if he did enter the race, sources said. He's kind of right about that, right? Like if he's running as the anti-woke guy, he started running as the anti-woke guy, and DeSantis is the OG anti-woke guy. And so if he jumps in, you are by definition sort of splitting the quote-unquote anti-woke vote if that's their primary concern, and that does clear a path for Trump. So the effective result is kind of clearing a path for Trump, but the question is whether or not that was the intentionality early on. So why is Vivek running anyway, given his already documented sycophantism toward Trump and the fact that he generally has refused to take on the former president directly or even be mildly critical, even though he knows full well that he'd have to ultimately beat Trump to secure the nomination? It's hard to imagine it's not for one or both of the following reasons. One, to raise his profile and secure some sort of post in the upcoming administration to pave the way for a Trump defeat of DeSantis. Bottom line, whether Donald Trump wins the primary and manages to pull off a miracle win in the general or does as predicted and loses bigly, Vivek Ramaswamy wins with, at minimum, a massive profile increase. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I think is Occam's razor. He wants to raise his name recognition. Whether or not he's going to transfer that into a position in the administration is kind of an open question. Is he gunning for VP? Is he doing like the Tim Scott move, which is like, I want to be VP, so let me not be critical of Trump at all? According to the ABC News report, Ramaswamy's announcement came way out of left field for those who know him. Reportedly, he had been trying to launch a podcast with the Daily Wire that fell through right before his announcement. It was taking several steps to raise his profile in conservative media. Wow. See, now that makes more sense to me right there. I didn't know that. So Vivek Ramaswamy wants to do what I do. He wants to be a commentator. And he was working on a deal with the Daily Wire. Now, by the way, as we know from the Steven Crowder fiasco, the Daily Wire has millions and millions of dollars to throw around. The amount of money in right-wing media versus left-wing media, bro, there is no comparison. Ain't no money in left-wing media. But Daily Wire's throwing around tens of millions of dollars like nobody's business. And apparently that fell through. And so he's like, okay, I got to sort of raise my profile. That's actually not too different from the original purpose of Donald Trump's run. Remember that? All the reporting early on? Apparently very early on in 2015, he didn't really think he could win. He was trying to raise his profile further so that he could get a better deal with the Apprentice. That was some of the reporting at the time. And it seems like it's a similar thing with Ramaswamy. Now that he's arrived on the national stage and displayed his loyalty to the MAGA base, people are talking, including his supposed target, DeSantis. When the DeSantis campaign posted a massive cache of debate prep notes, one note that stood out, in addition to defending Trump from any attacks from Chris Christie, was to, quote, hammer Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, you want to know why DeSantis would say that? Because Vivek Ramaswamy in some polls has surpassed him. So it's like, okay, I definitely got to get past this guy. But still, even he's being too cuckish to Trump. When asked for comment on this story, Ramaswamy's senior advisor, Tricia McLaughlin, told ABC News, referring to DeSantis, does one of your sources live in a publicly financed mansion in Tallahassee, Florida? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you buy it? Was the purpose from the very beginning with Vivek Ramaswamy to take out DeSantis so that Trump wins? I'm a little skeptical because Vivek was so anti-Trump in his book, certainly critical on January 6th and the attempt to overthrow the election. He has since changed his tune, but I think that's because he's wave riding. And again, I think Occam's razor is he's just trying to get his name out there as much as humanly possible, raise his profile, might have something to do with the media, maybe gunning for VP if he's being super ambitious. I don't know. I'm curious what your theories are, but clearly there are a bunch of them vis-a-vis Vivek. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.